Welcome back to another episode of Reality Court. My name is Ace Fanning, host of the Sister Wives podcast, Love Should Be Multiplied, Not Divided. And I am joined by my, she calls me her son, but I'm feeling like she's my best friend now, Anna Quincoces, former Real Housewife of Miami. And guys, when I tell you that my tits are tingling, I'm telling you they are tingling because we are joined today by a woman who started her life as a carny kid, and then she went on to become a real housewife, and she doesn't have knives. She just has her hands, and they work really well. Miss LeeAnne Locken. She knows the boys who did it. Hello, Miss LeeAnne.
I'm telling you, he is really
that is probably the best introduction
Huge.
I've ever had in my life. I might have to go back and record that and just use that, as my ringtone for my. Thank you.
We'll send it to you.
Yes.
So, since this is a real courtroom, and he is a real lawyer because he's watched many episodes of Law and Order.
Wait.
So we're going to administer.
Because then I'm a lawyer,
so you're a lawyer
and
too.
I'm a naval criminal intelligence officer.
Oh,
wow.
So if we're going off things that we've watched, I'm also a porn star.
I just finished Dexter, so you don't want to know what I am.
Man, I'm telling you, I have a little serial killer in me.
Okay.
All right, LeAnne, we're going to administer our oath here. So raise your left hand. Do you, LeAnne Locken, solemnly swear to tell some version of the truth, to own it, and not be all uncool, so help you uncommon?
So help me, whatever the thing was at the end. Andy Cohen.
Andy Cohen.
Yes. Godfather to them all. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, LeAnne, it has been a while since you have been on our TV screens,
Aww.
and we're not better for it. We are not better for it. We're doing worse than ever,
And you stay busy, man. You do a lot,
I like
LeAnne.
staying busy. Yeah, I'm
You
currently
stay
in the
really
middle
busy.
of making a jacket for DIPA. It's an organization here called, they're nationwide, Design Industry Foundation Fighting AIDS. And every year we have a huge gala. It's in, I think, May this year. And so they ask individuals to, it started off with J.C. Penney would give DIP 100 denim jackets, and then they would send them to artists, and then the artist would create from each jacket, and then we would auction the jackets off to raise funds. So now it's gotten into just, jackets. And I'm not putting bank into no leather shit. So I am making my version of a Balmain Rose top jacket.
Oh, nice.
I wear a lot of Bowman Rose tops.
I want to
Doesn't even
see
know
your
what
ass wearing that.
LeAnne, I have to start off, and I just need to ask you, what the fuck are you doing? Because why are you younger than when we last saw you on TV?
Yeah, really.
What do I need to be doing?
Craft, and you need to get this thing called a platinum laser upkeep every 3 months. And if you can prick it, stick it, freeze it, flatten it, lift it, shift it, fluff it, puff it, whatever, I do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and she shows it on her Instagram. She's pretty transparent.
Thank you.
Look,
Can I say
snatched.
I did was that February? No, it was a year ago. I got a CO2 laser. You have to be unconscious to get one of those. And
That's so
and
scary.
I have to,
yeah, I've never done it, but I want to.
Get your teeth cleaned to get one. I will say that people were calling all my gabies all over the country going, "Oh my God, does LeAnne know she just posted that video?" And I'm like, yeah, I was sharing the journey. Do I know that my eyes couldn't open and I look like this and my face was about this wide? Yeah, I did. That's what you look like after CO2. You know what? It really wasn't painful other than the fact that, you walked around trying to see like this.
Now, I'm not going to take your advice on what's painful and not, because we saw you basically go from getting your tits done straight to Mexico and getting an infection. And you were just, nothing stopped you. Nothing stopped you. You were fine.
Get to serve in that volleyball game? Because I don't think so. I think I was the only server and served the game out.
You're...
With Brandi.
Wow. See?
She's a woman of many talents.
Beast who hates to lose.
Yeah,
I like that. I also want to tell you this, LeAnne. When was it season 3 when you came back and you were going to be very zen? Season 2. Okay, that was a tough one for me because
He didn't like that.
I love my LeAnne. I love LeAnne to just scream at people, yell at people, be mean to people, and put people in their place. That's what I really like about my Miss LeAnne.
And not everybody can handle that. Not everybody can handle the truth being blurted straight to their face. Like when Brandi was like, "I know everything about you," and just boom, I was like, "Really? When's my period?" And she's like, and I'm like, "But don't speak literally to me if you can't handle the literal comment back." Like, I win.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right. You don't know somebody if you don't know when their period is. And Anna, I know when Anna's is. It was 10 years ago when she had her last period.
Isn't it nice not knowing? Oh, you have no idea.
Oh my God. Okay. I have to ask you this because this is the thing that keeps me up at night. And I have had a conspiracy theory about you for years. So we got to see you talk about Mark, and his name's Mark, right? Yeah. And the boys who sucked his dick at the roundup, and you know who did it. Then next season, you come back, and you and Carrie and Mark, we all seem to be on a good page with each other. And my conspiracy was they shut that down in some sort of way. Now, I've had many theories of like, maybe they paid her off. Maybe they threatened her with something. I didn't believe that you came back willing to be good with them without something helping that along.
Nothing helped that along. Nobody threatens me and lives to tell about it.
Okay.
Period. In the end.
You
threaten my ass, I take you out. I mean, that's just how it is. I don't like to be threatened. I'm married to a police officer who trains SEAL team, FBI, CIA. Don't threaten me because it doesn't work out well. Having a conversation with me will benefit you a long mile, but threatening me won't work. What happened was the target was so boring. It was fun for you, but it wasn't. I didn't like being called homophobic because I was going to out Mark. And listen, people's sex life are their sex lives. Am I going to comment on their sex life now? Hell no, because I made a promise. But
But you know the boys who did it.
Did we not start this before we started recording saying, I know those boys. I know those boys. Duck Dynasty. I know them all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anywho, sir. And the truth is I like Carrie. To this day, I still like Carrie. Carrie is just one of those people that it's like she's going to hate that I say this, but Carrie and mine's relationship is a little bit like how mine and DeAndra's relationship started off. I want to help her because I see there's this potential in Carrie Duber that is just so fucking beautiful, but it's like the diamond that won't get out of the rough. You know what I mean? Like you polish it and it's like, no. And it just goes back in its hole. So I like Carrie and I want to be friends with Carrie. And I think, and for good reason, Carrie's just at some point still scared of me. And I get that. I drilled that into those girls hardcore. And I did it for a good reason. I didn't want to be, I thought if I scared the shit out of them, they wouldn't pick on me. But instead, and I will say this.
They just kept going.
Also,
they all wanted a taste of the LeAnne.
I will say this, and this is the tip you don't know about. If you want to talk about conspiracy theories, the VP, Sezin, came and sat my ass down at the beginning of the season before we ever started filming and say, this season, do nothing. And I was like, do nothing. What does that mean? Like, I'm supposed to. Well,
That's
and that
the guy
to me,
you
I was
gotta
like,
blame.
you want to fire my ass? Just fucking fire my ass. Like, do nothing. You're asking me to sit still while all these little mosquitoes are trying to drill a drop of blood from me and not swat at them? Like, come on. Like, I'm just supposed to sit there and they're not doing anything because they did
must have been
nothing.
awful.
Name one thing that Stephanie did on the show. Name one storyline that I didn't give her. Okay, oh, I know you love her. She's so sweet. She's so
Ace
sweet.
loves
I know.
Stephanie.
Bullshit. She's bullshit.
I do love Stephanie Holman. I will say that. But let me ask you this: who are you still friendly with from the show?
Who else is on the show? No.
You and DeAndra didn't make up.
DeAndra,
No.
Lizzie, no, Lizzie was from a different show.
Tiffany Moon was from
What?
the last season.
No, I was
Tiffany
confusing
Moon.
somebody.
I know Tiffany Moon, and she and I,
Tiffany,
every time we see each other, she's like, "Oh, what could have been?" And I'm like, "Okay, but if you were really that big of a star, couldn't you have carried a season like I did 4 of them?" You know, and
Is there
Ain't that the
anything
truth?
that, like, hindsight,
You know,
right? They say
yeah,
hindsight is
and
20/20, but I think for a
hindsight,
housewife,
same
it's
thing you
more.
think. I should have stood up for myself more. I should have believed in myself more. I should have asked for more money. I should have realized that I carried that damn show. I should have listened to what people were saying instead of, I think what's always kept me where I am in life and where I'll always be is my humility. And I know people don't think I have it, but the truth is, the way I grew up, I don't have a tremendous foundation in self-esteem. I have a tremendous foundation in self-confidence, but I've earned that by learning and teaching myself things that no one else could have taught me. And but when it it's like an internal thermostat. So if your self-confidence is here and your self-esteem is here, you're never going to get past that middle range. So that's kind of where I stay in life, and that's really what kept me from realizing who my character was on the show.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, Anna and I were talking about Mel Robbins and her let them theory, and I feel like right now you were just
You're
giving
so
us a little
sweet.
bit of
I
Mel
like
Robbins.
Mel
I
Robbins.
appreciate that.
What do you think about that?
And I will
let
say
them?
some of the shit she said is, I think one of the hardest things about being a housewife is not allowing the audience to direct your feelings about yourself through their comments, which, I mean, comments are brutal. But if they're not willing to get into the arena where the lion is loose, keep your mouth shut. You have no balls in this game. You have no balls in this game.
No balls.
No.
You're not Job
think
in with the lions.
One of the things that really bothers me about housewives and just generally this women empowerment thing that, oh, I'm going to straighten your crown and you'll straighten my crown. And it's bullshit. Nobody's straightening anybody's crown. You're such a fucking liar. It doesn't happen in real life, and it certainly doesn't happen on Housewives. So come up with a new narrative.
Now, I will say, in real life, IRL, I do have, my best friend and I would straighten each other's crowns. And I will say, for the people who, there's always who are family to me. And it takes a lot to get into my family, but it's real easy getting out. I would slay dragons. I would slay dragons for. I would lay my life down for. I was born to be a protector, like my husband, which is why we married. But on Housewives, no, those girls' intention from episode 1, season 1 was take down the dragon who they thought I was the dragon, And then season 5, when I'm not there, all Cameron was like, "Oh my God!" Every scene they were like, "I wish LeAnne was still here. This is so much harder." I'm like, "Oh, can you imagine? It's hard without LeAnne."
So Real Housewives of Dallas originally started as a show about Dallas, charity, society, stuff like that. And then later on, you guys found out that it would be Real Housewives of Dallas. What did you, like when you went into the show, first season, you were friends with Tiffany and then I feel like kind of
We knew
Carrie
each other.
Duber.
We're acquaintances.
But was that? Yeah. I want to know, like, what is it like being in a situation where you're like, I have to now go on a girls' trip with these women that I don't really know and I don't really have a history with, and it's like, I find you to be annoying, but we're not close enough for me to tell you that I find you annoying.
Season 1 was awkward because you're right. I mean, authentically, what they're asking you to do in an authentic look is be best friends with everybody on the set. But in reality, and I think what made New York Housewives work so well with LeAnne, Ramona, Sonia, Dorinda, was that there was some level of respect between them all. Like, they knew what was too far and they wouldn't push. They knew what that person's triggers were, and they were cautious to push you in the direction, but then catch you if you fell. Whereas any other housewife group never had that.
Right.
It was push you over the edge, watch you fall off the cliff, and laugh while you're going down. And so for me, it was always uncomfortable. You know, towards the end, I had severe PTSD going on a cast trip because I'm like, when you gonna come? When's it gonna happen? You know, let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, it is a scary thing.
Yeah.
I've always talked that your mental health is affected
True. And
by
I will say this,
it
what people don't realize, and which I've never, ever, ever spoken about, is one of the things why Thailand, besides the location where Carrie Brittingham wanted to go in Thailand, which was a huge trigger for me. The other thing about it was the day that we landed in Thailand, my best friend Peter, who lives in New York, who's a stylist, my best friend, his partner died. And he called me, and I landed, and I answered the phone at the airport, and he said, Thomas just died. Please come to New York. And I couldn't. I just landed in Thailand. Oh. So someone who's my family, who'd been there every time I'd ever had a problem in my life, I couldn't go be with, which put me in this hugely frustrating mood. And I was heartbroken and angry at the same time. I was angry with the crew because I couldn't go do what I really wanted to do. I didn't want to be filming a damn show. I wanted to go be with my best friend and hold him and make sure he made it through. And so I think that put extra pressure on me along with the cast, which just really, everything the cast did just irritated the living. Like, you know, you're being stupid and I'm here dealing with your stupidity instead of being somewhere where I can make a difference. Yeah.
Right. When something's serious. Yeah. I get that because production doesn't care about anything but the final product. And, you know, there is no time for grief or real life problems. There isn't. And I think that's a real problem. And you know, I think it's very insightful of you to talk about the Real Housewives of New York, the original ones, how they do know each other's triggers. And I think of many examples of that, like, you know, the Morgan thing for Sonia. It's a lot. You cannot touch that. You know that's going to, and then what was Dorinda's late husband's name? You know, that is like God. You don't talk about him. And they kind of knew, and they would kind of mess with each other a little bit, but then they would back off. There was a level of like, there's a line in the sand, and we all know what it is for each other. And I think that's necessary.
It's rare,
but it's so rare.
It's rare because once they got their algorithm or set history down, they just went out and started casting. Like, look, we need 6 women, we need 7 women, we need 5, whatever it is. And if one person knew somebody, you know how they cast. It's like, you know, they ask you for 10 people, and then that 10 people that you give the names of, they ask those people for 10 people, and they're hoping somehow you all either know each other or have heard of each other. It's still not the foundation of a level of humanity. It's humanity. And I know those girls in New York. I know Dorinda, Sonia, Ramona, LeAnne. I know those girls. I've dined with those girls. I've had conversations with those women. Those women, for each other, held a bar of respect. If one started misbehaving in public, which I've seen, the others would grab her and just sort of pull her away to preserve what they have.
Yes.
And
yes.
no one on any of the other
Yep.
shows does that. And I think that's what a lot of people miss.
Right.
I have to do that with Anna quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah, he keeps me. But you know what? Like I in Miami, I am now friends with the people that I was pinned against on the show. People like Leah Black, that was my nemesis. I love Leah, and I hate the years that I missed with her, where we could have been a force on that show together.
Duber.
You know,
that's how I feel about Carrie Duber. Had she had the wherewithal to not believe in Stephanie and Brandi being her protector, and actually gone to someone who could have not only protected her but set her up for the right lines, lifted her up for the right storylines, really kind of helped her open up, it would have been a different scenario. But that takes time, doesn't it, Anna? And without that kind of time, you get 2 weeks and then you're like, let's start filming.
And also, it says something about who you are, because they had, there's a girl, Karen, on the show who decided that her boyfriend was texting me and that I had some text. It turned out to be a different Anna, and I just kept saying, it wasn't me. And then the way that she was writing to him in Spanish, you could tell that it was kind of Mexican Spanish, not Cuban Spanish. Like, it was like words that I didn't say. But despite that, and despite how they pinned us against each other, this really explosive scene where Joanna and Adriana beat the crap out of each other at a lingerie show, because Karen was so close to Joanna, she was about to get into it. And I pulled her out and I said, hey, don't go there. You and I have the most to lose here, because she's a doctor. I'm a lawyer, whatever. I said, we could lose our license for behaving like this. I'd rather be a little boring than get disbarred, And so I pulled her away, and she's always thanked me for that, because I had no reason. I was supposed to hate her. But at that moment, the trigger to me is like, no, I'm going to help her, because this is all make-believe, and I don't want this to have a permanent effect on her life after studying for so many years.
No.
And the women today, they don't do that.
And, if you really look at it, they've stopped trying to find women with careers, because they know that if you have something to lose, your mouth stays shut. I had nothing to lose. Like, I live with the man of my dreams. You're not taking anything away from me, other than they took my reputation for a certain period of time, or they, that was it. And to be quite frank with you, it's hard to keep me down. I've always told Andy that I was a phoenix. No one at Bravo ever believed I was a phoenix. Here I am, rise out of the ashes, 100%. So you know what? I think you would. I think she would be so good on Traitors. I don't know.
I thought she would be good on Traitors.
Send them my way.
Oh my God! Either I'm dying to do it.
Me too.
But oh my God, it would be so great. It would be so great, because let me tell you, they have some. This season, Dolores was there. I love Dolores. I think she's amazing. But some other people were kind of, I don't know, like. We didn't need them there. They need more interesting people.
It's hard to
more
find outspoken people because people like you and I realize now that we've done it how bad they can make us look. And but that's also once you get to that point where you're like, and what are you going to, hey, next, call me a pedophile. Like, I don't care. What are you going to do? I know who I am. I'm 57 years old.
Yeah. And when they want to protect somebody, they could be murdering babies on the side.
True.
And they'll cover it up.
Like your dear, sweet, kindest girl in the world was so protected.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it. It's a thankless job. It really is.
I'll give you the little 411 later. And you'll be heartbroken.
Oh.
Ace is always thinking that I'm going to get canceled.
Oh, she is going to get canceled, but it's fine. It is what it is.
Who hasn't been canceled?
I just
canceled, schmanceled. Cancel me. Cancel me.
I don't think it's easy to like nowadays. It's not that easy to cancel anymore. Like the days of Paula Deen getting canceled forever and Roseanne Barr. Nah. people are a little
You
less
mean a little less
uptight about
sensitive
that stuff.
and whiny. And oh my God,
Yeah,
inappropriate
exactly.
humor is so inappropriate. And I'm like, I live in an appropriate world where
Yeah.
2 glasses of tequila makes me one fun, inappropriate, crazy motherfucker.
Exactly. The best thing
s-
about our show is that our
Yeah.
moral compass is broken.
Yeah.
So
Oh, for sure. Speaking of speaking your truth and just saying it like it is, I need to know. Season 1 Tiffany, not Tiffany Moon, the other Tiffany. What were your honest, genuine thoughts about her Amazon version of Keith
I'm gonna
Urban
tell you.
husband?
So now here's where New York comes into play. Tiffany and I have been friends since we were 17 years old. I'm 57. That's a 40-year friendship. I love Aaron. I love that Aaron found Tiffany when she was in a not so great place in California and pulled her out, poured into her, and created a safe place for her. Because remember, I told you I'm a protector. And Tiffany will always be family to me. She'll always be my little sister. And protected her and has lifted her up and put her into a godly place. And to this day, Tiffany's safe. She's blessed. She's happy. She's healthy. And I couldn't ask for anything else for someone that I love. So when it comes to Aaron,
don't you feel bad, Ace?
No, not at all. He literally
does,
looks like a
and he's
discount
hot
version of
in
Keith
person. Let me
Urban.
just tell you something. He's hot. If he did some
yeah.
shirtless shit, y'all would be like, woo!
I thought that D'Andra's husband was hot, and Ace doesn't think so.
Thank you, LeAnne. That's the face I was looking
Maybe
for.
I don't know. There's like
No.
a Blake Shelton thing about him. I don't know.
Okay,
I've never
Helen
seen
Keller.
him.
For an eye exam.
Exam.
That's for
maybe
sure.
That's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. He looked like
That's just because
I
she
don't know.
told
Manly.
No, you're wrong, but it's fine.
Like an Irish Spring commercial. Manly, yes, but I like it too.
yes, please.
Here's the thing, LeAnne. I need to know about the Lafinity dress and what happened there because I remember when D'Andra came out to the dinner wearing it like the bitch she is, and I don't give a rip about that, D'Andra. I was so upset when she did that because I felt like that was something you were genuinely hurt by that. But I also want to know, do you have any Lafinity dresses still around and can I buy
They
one?
are not available right now because the company is in a legal battle. My partner at the time that I started that company with stole everything and emptied all the bank accounts. So it's on pause right now. And I will tell you that once that gets solved, which it's supposed to come up to court in 2025. So once all that gets resolved, there's 2 different versions that'll come back out and they'll be amazing.
Can
Oh my
I
God, how
just
cool.
send you money on Venmo and you just send me one in the biggest size that you have?
Like, you want your dress to
I'm
look
like a
as good as
size
D'Andra's
4.
did in my dress?
Yeah.
Yes, of course I
That was
do.
the best her
Did
saggy
they look
ass
good
tits
or
has
no?
ever looked. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Really?
And that
Was
was
it red? Was it red?
It was black, and then it had red parts and white parts and all different things. You could do an
wear
infinity amount of things with it. It
175
was
different
infinite.
ways,
Back
but
and
the
look at
bodice, Anna, was like, have you ever found that dress that you're like, I look so good in this dress. If it came in 100 colors, I would buy it. Okay. That's the bodice of this dress.
Yeah.
It's a bodycon dress that's so thick, no cellulite showed through.
Right.
It squeezed everything to look perfect. But then if you had a little something, something here, you could just wear like a little ruffle and it would cover it. Or if you wanted to make it an evening gown, you could make it an evening gown.
Oh, wow.
So that was my goal, was to make it this like, I know all women have a dress in their closet where they're like, if desperate times, you got to go to black
That's
dress.
the go-to.
This was your go-to black dress that you could change.
Yeah.
And make it into anything. You could wear it as an all black evening gown. You could wear it as a black and white cocktail dress. You know, so eventually that was the goal. I wish I hadn't done primary colors like red, black, and white. I wish I'd done versions of like black with gold, and black with silver. I think it would have looked a lot prettier, which is probably how it'll reappear on a shopping network. And then other. Oh my God!
I want the OG
You are
dress.
just, you know what? You're making me need another cup of coffee.
He does. He collects.
You collect shit?
Yeah.
You really collect shit?
He collects.
Yes, I want that like in my home. I'll put it in a shadow box. Oh my God, look how sweaty my pits are. This is how nervous I am talking about to you right now.
I'll send you.
I want the Lafinity dress in a shadow box.
I can send you to make space.
No,
in my garage.
He would.
Do you remember the original promo for Dallas Housewives? And I had to pull that red handle for the cork, not the oil well. I have the red box
with the oil,
with the handle. And remember the huge ass pink gorilla that I won the night I got engaged? Okay, so I have that in my garage.
Yes.
Oh my God. He collects memorabilia. He really would be so
meditation
happy with
bowl
it. He's going to create a museum.
I can actually look at it. It's next to my wedding picture. So when he pisses me off, I know where to go bang the bowl.
I don't want the meditation because that was a different LeAnne. That wasn't my LeAnne.
Yeah, he didn't like that, LeAnne. He didn't like you calm.
That was a tough time for me. So you obviously have had your issues with Stephanie Holman and Brandi Redmond, and it sounds as though you still hate those bitches. You don't care for them. Oh, okay.
What about the girl that wears pink all the time?
Cameron. That's Cameron
to me. Okay, so like when I first met Cameron, after they told me she was going to be on the show, I met her at like a cattle baron's ball or something. And I remember talking to her and thinking, oh my God, talking to her is like watching paint dry. I'm going to claw my eyeballs out. What am I going to do? Like, this girl's boring. And then I got to know her and I realized that like all of this pink stuff was real. And then I was like, I think the press I did before they even announced her, I was like, oh my God, they hired a unicorn. And I'm so pissed because I always thought I was going to be a unicorn. And I like found out today that I'm just a thoroughbred and that fucking sucks because now there's a real unicorn on the show and this is bullshit. But she's such an enigma. She's such this, and that's why Andy loved her so much. You know, Andy loves characters. You know that. That's why he loved Dee. He loves over the top characters. Yeah. And Cameron is a character without realizing she's a character. That's just who she is. And everybody was like, she's so great.
Right. Yeah. And my God, the little husband.
And I'll tell you though, his
so funny.
Love for her, watching him love her is like.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it was the first night that she and DeAndra did Watch What Happens Live. And I remember I love to sit back and watch because, you know, my head's on a swivel pretty much all the time. So I'm very aware of everything that goes on around me. And I was watching him and he had the dog and her purse and the camera to take pictures of her. And he came over and he sat down afterwards. And I looked over at him and I said, you know, Cord, I just want to say something. I want to tell you how much I notice and I appreciate how much you love your wife because it's really nice to see it.
I think it's easy for him to love her because she's absolutely out of his league. 100%.
He knows. He
is so appreciative of it. He still treats her, I hate to say this, like she's on a pedestal because she kind of is. But those are her heels. But he does. He's so madly in love with her. And, you know, anytime I see a man who genuinely loves their wife, like to me, that's like hope. And I love to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you and Brandi have made amends.
Brandi,
you guys are good with each other.
Every season always messaged me. At the end of the last season, the 5th season that I wasn't even a part of, she messaged me and she was just like, I want to check on you. Are you okay? You know, what can I do? Brandi at her core is a Christian, but Brandi is also easily manipulated by producers. And you know what that means, Anna. somebody tells you to do something, Brandi was willing to do it. And I just was never that person. I was the one that they'd walk up to and be like, LeeAnne, you need to say this. And I'd be like, no, Mama, you need me to say this. I ain't got to say shit. Like, I'm me. You don't need to tell me how to be me. Right. I am me.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious, in season 4, your last season, Brandi at the reunion goes and she pulls out the chair and she's like, you need to sit here and you need to be responsible for what you said. And then we go to season 5 and Brandi's up on a TV screen. She's not even there in person because she's tested positive for COVID. Not really sure if I believed that or not.
They already decided they were going to cancel the show because of the ratings. And they knew that if they had Brandi and Brittingham in the room, they would have defended Cameron and the show would have gone a different direction. And they didn't want that. So they purposely said that the two of them tested positive. I don't think they tested positive.
I feel like it was helpful to Brandi. Well, actually, no, it wasn't helpful. It was horrible because she ended up looking worse than ever. But I thought, pot calling the kettle black.
So before Brandi did that, so let me tell you, you know how the reunions work. Everybody has a package, and you go from the outside sofa in. So you go out, middle, in, package wise. So you do an hour or two on this person, then an hour or two on. So you do half your day, 3, and then the second half is the last 3. Season 4 reunion went like this: package, lunch. Who's the last package that gets the whole last 6 hours of the day? Yeah. Try that, bitch. Shit. And what happened was when we came back from lunch, they told everyone, you want this season to continue without LeAnne, you better bring it. And that was Brandi's bring it. I saw them pull her aside.
And that was the end.
Yeah, that's why Monique Samuels from Potomac was like, Andy, why didn't you just name this the LeeAnne Locken reunion? Because that's what it was. And, Andy had the whole
that's all they talked about.
The whole 6 hours package was LeAnne. So if you wanted to get rid of me, why make me the entire second half of the reunion episode, which, by the way, in that entire last season, and the reunions are supposed to be the most watched episodes of the entire season. My wedding was the most watched episode of the entire season 4. The second reunion was actually lower than the first. More people turned it off, and then 250,000 people left when I left.
Let me tell you something. I would have left too, but I just love the show too much. I couldn't go. But I just think it's wild because you had these, allegations of racism. They were coming for you for that. And then the next season, Brandi had to deal with the exact same allegations and her husband cheating on her. She got a double whammy that season.
I saw that and I was like heartbroken. But, Brian and whatever Stephanie's husband's name is, are good friends, and they behave very similarly. And I knew that Travis, Brian being friends with Travis, it wouldn't be long before Brian acted like Travis.
Look at her just dropping that in there.
Well, tequila for your morning. Listen, and I'm going to tell you something. The allegations on me were a little silly because it didn't quite fit the description. I mimicked her just like Brandi mimicked, but I actually just mimicked Carrie Brittingham, and Brandi mimicked an entire, race culture. Yeah. And so for me, I felt it was uncomfortable for me because if I had been walking around going, Lisa Vanderpump has ugly teeth. Look at those Brits with their ugly teeth. Nobody would have called that racist. That's
nobody would have said anything. And on Beverly Hills, Kyle would imitate Teddy like walking and how she talked and everything.
Well,
and
I
then
even
that's
saw,
fine.
you know, what's funny was
It's
someone
like,
sent me when the
you know.
reboot of Miami happened and they had their little reunion clip. One of the girls literally said, you're a yappy chihuahua, you know, and I was like, isn't that what I got? How Andy's sitting right here listening to this shit, and I didn't even say it at the reunion, and these people are saying it here on TV, and why is it okay for them and not for me? Like, it's just this double-edged sword with Bravo. You know, they make it work. They make the sharp edge swing the way they want it to, and I just was never okay with that, because even Brittingham was like, LeAnne, I didn't take what you said as racist. I mean, and it wasn't. I'm not that. It's kind of hard to be in the LGBTQ AI plus whatever world and be racist. It's just really, it's impossible.
And be racist, exactly.
I want to ask you about a character that we met for a very brief second on Real Housewives of Dallas, and that is Marie. And you guys were friends, and this woman, you could tell, was so thirsty to be on the show. And it was like, I felt like, I don't know for sure, but I felt like production was like, bitch, you have nothing exciting for us. And so she had to try and fight her way in. And there was a big scene between the two of you in which I think, did you threaten to kill her? Yes, you threatened to kill her. Yes. Just talk to us a little bit about that, because we didn't get cameras rolling on you threatening
but
to kill her.
Duper tried to sneak downstairs with her iPhone and record it. Yeah.
She did. And I appreciated that, but we didn't get it. We still didn't get it.
There was that recording. There's that recording. We've got, you know, LeAnne, we've got this recording if you want to comment about it, which is what they always do.
And was there a recording?
There's a recording, but it's like it doesn't have anything in it. It's not that exciting.
In a stairwell, and I'm around the corner in another room. Yeah.
Right.
But I'll say this, honestly, like, if had you said, like, hey, someone grab a phone and record this because this is going to be good, I would have been so happy to see it. I hated Marie, and I wanted you to tell her you were going to kill her.
I didn't care if it showed or not. What pissed me off was, you know, here's the thing about Marie. Yes, thirsty, because she wanted to be on the show. She was a friend of, she didn't make full cast. And she knew she was boring. And she thought the only way, well, she realized that everybody else was attacking me and that was the way to, you know, have a storyline was, you know, attack LeAnne and you get an instant storyline. And so what upset me was that I brought her on the show and I thought we were friends. And there was a point, and I will tell you the reason that weekend happened the way it happened was there was a point before that happened where she was in still going back to psych school or something. And she had come over before that, come to my home, sat me down at my dining room table and said, LeAnne, I want to check you into a psych ward. There's something really wrong with you, and we need to put you in a psychological institution. You need to be institutionalized. I'm really worried about you. And I was like, get the fuck out of my house. And then I go on this trip and I hear she's been talking smacker behind my back. And I'm like, oh, we done. Like, we done, bitch. You're dead.
Yeah.
I would think the psych ward would be my done moment, but
it was for
maybe
me personally.
not.
Yeah. Like, on a personal level, it was. But then when I hear you going to all these people who hate me, trying to stir shit with me and giving them ammo on me, again, the reason I never worried about anybody coming for me was because I gave everybody all the ammo. You ask me, did I shat in a basket? I shat in a basket. That's what happens when you take X-Lax trying to look skinny for your birthday. You know, like, I don't care. If I do something,
We've all been there.
I own it. It's mine. Yes, I did it. And, you know, for her to try to drum shit up just to make friends, throw me under the bus to make friends with someone else was not okay. And so for me, when I say you're dead to me, here's the deal. Let me explain this. And I'll say the same thing I said back then. When you're dead to me, you're no longer a part of my life. You cannot access me. You cannot reach me. You cannot know anything about me. This woman is blocked on every platform I'm on. She has sent me a Bulgari purse in the mail anonymously with a book about forgiveness, which I think I gave it away to a friend. I didn't care. I didn't want it. I don't want anything to do with you.
So when
It's
somebody
forever.
crosses you, it's
What
forever.
is the point?
We're not crossing you. We want to be part of the family.
What
Gemini.
sign are you? I need to know your sign.
Yeah, Gemini. I'm not being
Okay.
dangerous. But
So
I'm
there's
not. But
two
I'm.
sides of
but
you.
here's the kicker that I love is I'm not actually dangerous. I'm just insane, and insanity scares the crap out of people. You know.
Yeah.
I need to know about the fallout between you and Miss D'Andra Simmons, because you guys had legit history. Like, you guys were actual friends, and then she flipped on you like I've never seen before. And I felt like as soon as she realized, like, oh, LeAnne's tainted water, I'm not going over there. I'm going to come over here because this is what's safe for me. Like, it's safer for me to be over here. But I feel like there had to have been more than what we saw on TV. Like, there had to be a
there
lot
was.
behind the scenes going on with that.
So I became friends with DeAndra when randomly at a bar, she walked over to me and she was like, she and Jeremy, they were crying. I knew her like acquaintance-wise, like how I knew Duber. And we were at this bar at this event and she was crying and upset and Jeremy was trying to talk her through something and she had her phone and she was like this. And, you know, she walked over to me and she was like, I can't believe it. And I'm like, oh, what? And she's like, this person who's my friend just sent me all these horrible texts. And I'm like, well, here, delete. And I handed her back. And she goes, why'd you do that? And I go, because if she's sending you nasty texts, why do you want to read them? Like, who cares? Like, obviously she's not your friend. Move on. And she was like, she was so shocked that someone would do something helpful in the moment, not just allow her to have this pity fest openly in a public venue. Yeah.
Dwell on it. Yeah. You're the original Mel Robbins.
Yep. That's what I always say. Miss LeeAnne Locken. She's Mel Robbins herself.
So then all of a sudden she was like, will you stand for me? Now, mind y'all, I grew up on a carnival. I have no idea what standing for someone means. I really don't. I had no idea it meant she was asking me to be her bridesmaid. Or maid of honor. I had no idea.
Oh.
And I was like, of course I'll stand for you, girl. Because again, I got a protective personality. So I'm like, of course I'll stand for you. And then like a month later, someone comes over and says, oh, I heard that you're D'Andra's maid of honor. And I'm like, no, I'm not. She didn't ask me to be her maid of honor. And they were like, that's what standing for her means. And I'm like,
God.
fuck. Like, I didn't drink in public.
How bad was the dress? How bad was that dress?
She wouldn't. So,
Was it
honey,
terrible?
Oh God, the tea on that's so long and hard and piping hot. We were given a color scheme. I actually went out and found, there were only two of us. There was a matron of honor and a maid of honor. I went out and found matching dresses for us in Champaign, found little shrugs for us in Champaign. D'Andra bought us both, went to the Jimmy Choo store in Highland Park Village and bought us both Jimmy Choo shoes, which she then taped the bottom of and allowed us to wear at her wedding, and then she returned them for money for her honeymoon. Yeah.
Wow.
No.
What?
No. That's big. This is big.
Well, we knew that she had before, but I didn't realize.
D'Andra wants to be something that I hate to say that she's never going to be, but that's because what she wants to be is unattainable for her personality. And you know, Anna, I know you know this because I know you've seen people like who are one way and then you put them in front of a camera and who is this? Like, this is, and that was D'Andra. D'Andra was one way, and then when the cameras turned on, she was like, I must be star. And you're like, okay, great, do it. Like, shit, take the reins, bitch. I'm tired. And then she doesn't have what it takes.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be born with a certain personality to fill up a camera screen. You really do. And I was born that way. It's never going to change. I'm never going to change. This is who I am. I'm going to be 90.
And her husband seems
Can
kind
you
of
shut up
nice.
about her husband?
No,
She's
he seems
trying
nice,
to get in his
but
pants.
He seems soft, and he seems like he coddles her, and that's not helpful.
He did
for
coddle
somebody
her,
that
but you
wants.
got to
I
think
think-
about him. Jeremy was a military photographer who lucked into a girl that had access to money, and so Jeremy is
Yeah.
a yes
okay,
husband.
so he doesn't have money.
No, my husband didn't have money until his father gratefully left, all the children a very nice nest egg. But yeah, I mean, I didn't marry my husband because he has a nest egg. I married my husband before he got it, and or was in love with him and lived with him before he got it. But so I mean, Jeremy is a yes man. He's always going to be a yes man to DeAndra because, yes, please, can I get a new car? Still like him, Anna. Still like him, Anna.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Good. Thank you.
And not because he doesn't have
He's
money,
soft.
but because he's
He's
soft.
soft.
I don't like
He's
soft men.
It drives
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
drives
No, Anna
my
likes to be put in her
husband
place.
crazy when D'Andra posts him with his salad on his jacket, and my husband's like, half that salad is BS, but I mean, whatever. My husband's police salad is a huge deal.
Yeah.
He's now retired.
He's now retired, right?
Yeah, he's actually
Your husband retired.
He's still an active
Good,
duty
Speaking of Rich,
or deputy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rich, the beautiful man who has loved you through it all, I do have to say, now does he? The justice for Rich and the fact that you guys had to have your wedding when he had that eye
That's
patch.
not going.
I was just,
Honey, it's
he still has the
permanent
eye
visual
patch?
damage. Yeah, he is.
Oh, I thought that was such shitty timing for him because I was like, now he's got to wear his eye
Forever. He
patch
still
and all the
wears-
wedding
Yeah,
photos.
he had his retina detached. I know,
kinda
you know what's
sexy.
funny is, seriously, Anna, it's women find it sexy and children are scared to death of him. They're like,
Really? My ex-husband, or the father of my kids, he had 13 retinal detachments, and his eye is held in place by this thing called a sclerobuckle. And so his eye looks weird, and he should wear an eye
does he
patch.
have a
He
macular
just doesn't
pucker
wear
where
it.
it's everything he sees through that one eye's twisted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
An
weird.
immaculate pucker. That's what my nickname in college was.
Macular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
he's been
nightmare,
through a
and he
lot with
still
it.
has it. And my husband had 6 or 7 surgeries last year. We're still recovering from the last one that we had New Year's Eve. He had a full right hip replacement, and all of that is from being on SWAT. I mean, he was an entry team leader on Dallas SWAT department for 17 years. My husband is a genuine, real life badass hero. Me too.
I love
I'll
that.
never forget.
I love that, and that you're proud
I
of
will
him,
never
and that you're.
forget after our first date the next morning. I'm such a hoe. When he woke up the next morning and he
The
strapped
next
that gun
morning.
to his thigh, and I was like, ugh. That was it.
That was it for you. That was the moment where you were just like, oh,
This is
God.
why the
Yeah,
man needed
exactly.
a hip replacement. She rode him hard.
I have a question for you before we go back to, because honestly, top 5 favorite moments in Housewives history is your monologue about your hands. And I need to know, 1, did you know in the moment what you were saying? 2, did you remember saying it? 3, were you aware that there was a hot mic happening?
Okay. Diazepam, diazepam, diazepam. I was on so much diazepam that not only did I not remember it, but, Brandi totally set me up for that moment too, which I'm sure producers told her to, but,
Yes.
because I was butt naked in there. The only person with a microphone was her. And she had irritated me the whole ride there. Carrie. And then we get there and, and that culminated, and just, she was so excited. She ran out of the room after that when ran straight to our executive producer, like, tell me you got that. Do I remember saying it? No. And, was I present of mind when I said it? No. Does shit fly out of my mouth that I don't know what I'm saying? Yes. Do I care?
Do you regret saying it? No.
No, she could not regret it. It's history.
It's hard to regret something you don't remember saying. It's like when I'll tell you how much I don't remember saying stuff. It's like in Copenhagen when after like Carrie Duber had to pull my fist so that I didn't pummel DeAndra. And I went downstairs and they were like, come back up, come drink with us. And I was like, I'm exhausted. My weave is exhausted. The panty liner in my underwear is exhausted. Well, that season, at the end
Great
of that
line.
season, we were still doing interviews, and I said, how's the trailer look? And the producer on the ground said, well, right now it ends with you saying, I'm exhausted, and reading that back. And I go, I never said that. Why are you lying? Like, just stop lying. Why do you just lie to me? And she's like, LeAnne, that's how the trailer ends. You're saying that. And I go, okay, fine. You want to lie to me? Lie to me. I don't care. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, sorry. Look at that.
That's why you're TV
right.
gold. That's why you're TV
Oh,
gold.
hell yeah.
So, quick question about another city. What do you think of New York's new ladies, and do you think it should be recast? What do you think?
I don't watch it.
Should happen? You don't watch it?
No.
She's
Did
not
you
interested.
ever try?
No, because to me,
No.
Here's
She's
the thing
not
about
interested.
Housewives. You start a show and then you can't recast it. It's not the same. It's not the same show. I don't want to see, you're not going to sell me an orange and tell me it's an apple after, oh my God, see, this is why I don't talk. This is what happens. You're not going to sell me an orange and tell me it's an apple when I know what a fucking apple looks like. It's not an apple, so don't sell me something that isn't an apple, name it something else. And it probably would have been a lot more successful because what's happening is you're putting the weight of the history against everything on this one gamble, when if you named it something else, it could be its own gamble. And then it only has the weight of itself.
Oh, 100% I feel like these women are not at all the embodiment of what we've come to know Real Housewives to be. One, they're too young. It's just like that's not what we
haven't
want.
experienced anything,
No.
To have real insight.
I'll say this, Anna. One of the things
important.
that always bothered me was, and I think this is another thing about cast that Bravo doesn't put into their, cycle of what works, is perspective. Your amount of history, your amount of experience is exactly the level of your perspective. So if your experience is super high, your perspective on everything is so much bigger. Whereas if your experience is down here, your perspective is like, she's evil. I'm like, just like, get people with experience.
Right.
It's
And that's boring. You know what? Give us a little more credit. We want
Exactly.
complex characters who have lived a life, who have been hurt, who have fallen and gotten up again, who are resilient.
Yeah.
That's
And-
what's aspirational to me. And I really think they're making a lot
Yeah,
of these
100.
decisions because of money, quite frankly. Once the ladies have been on for a long time,
Yep. Oh.
that's what they're going to do with New Jersey. New Jersey's costing them too much money.
I don't think
So
New
they're
Jersey's
gonna
coming
recast
back, or
it
they're going to
too.
try to recast the whole thing like New York, and it's going to end up just like
Yeah.
New York. Again, you can't compare apples to oranges. You just can't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what it is. It's a different fruit.
Yeah.
But I will say that's one of the things that has always bothered me about Bravo is that if you could just, it's not just about knowing each other. It's about, even if you had a cast of 5 women that all had tremendous amount of experiences, then we all have something to learn from one another. And you're more
You will
willing
connect.
to try to accept
course you
each
will
other
connect.
because it's like this dynamic of, wow, you went through what? as opposed to, oh God, there she goes again. I was so offended, and I still am today. Every time those girls said to me, oh, here goes LeAnne with her story. I'm like, it's not a story. It's actually something I survived.
It's your life.
Know? And that was really rude.
Yeah.
If
I agree.
if Bravo or Peacock were to come to you right now and say, "Hey, we want to bring back Dallas. We want the OG cast," would you do it?
Some of them, not all of them. There's one. There's one in particular I will never do a television show with again. Correct.
And that's Stephanie Holman. What is the deal with Stephanie Holman? Like, how am I so wrong about this?
I think you're wrong about it, and
too.
I got to tell you, I can't deal with someone who is purposely one way on camera and purposely completely different behind camera. It's not. I can't feed that animal. I can't pet that animal.
I get that. I get that from her, and I don't even know her.
Is she mean?
She's manipulative.
She's dismissive.
She's manipulative.
I don't know what she thinks she is.
She's evil.
Yeah.
If I rescued your dogs, wait. If I rescued your dogs,
I don't know,
from certain death on a huge busy street, and I brought them back to your house and you let them in, and then I was all sweaty and still had to go to dinner with my best friend, fucking sweat ass leather. And then you saw me, that was on a Wednesday night, and you saw me on Saturday night. What would you say to me Saturday nights when I just rescued your dogs?
Oh my God. I mean, anybody that rescues my dog for me is like a hero forever.
What do you,
I'd be kissing your ass for the rest
young
of your
man?
life.
What do you think she said to me Saturday night?
I think she said to you, she said, you know, LeAnne, you are just such a gem, and I'm so grateful for you. And
he loves her.
She probably said, if I had to guess, she probably said something about you being on her property. Okay, nothing. She said nothing.
She said like nothing was going to happen to the dog anyway. Or she didn't say anything.
Didn't thank me. Didn't acknowledge me. Nothing. Yeah, see, now you see it. Now you see it.
Was that at an event?
At Cameron's birthday party.
Was it at an event? Yeah, right. So you walked in and she thought you looked better than her and she ignored you.
I had like
There's
this old,
so much of that
little
too.
Vintage. It was awful. My outfit was terrible. I can just tell you. I swear to God, it was awful. And I felt like crap in it.
What was the event where you wore the two faces
Holman,
of Stephanie?
Season 2.
Okay.
He doesn't want to.
Okay, well, listen.
He doesn't.
I think that you and Stephanie could come together.
I told him this, by the way.
She tried to get Stephanie for the show, and Stephanie won't read her message or respond to her.
Even respond. Like, come on. I don't even know. I didn't know who she was at all.
She's clean.
So.
Wow.
And I only wanted it because you wanted it.
I know. And I listen, any housewife I could get, I would. I would even take that Jennifer Davis.
Yeah.
Did you know Jennifer Davis, LeAnne?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so there was this woman, and she came on the show. She filmed as like a full-time housewife, and then her and her husband were having this horrible divorce.
And the reason that the reason
I thought she filmed as like
they stopped actually filming her, like I think after the third party, was because her ex-husband's family is very well known in town and lawyers, a family of lawyers. And they said, she's not,
Lord.
We don't want her on the show. So
there was a rumor going around when she started filming that there was a new housewife in Dallas, and they said that she was so incredibly bad at filming, they would have to like constantly tell her what to do, how to do it. Like she couldn't even walk from the car to the house without making a mistake. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm going to believe it.
That it was her?
Don't you say that about Stephanie Holman. Ms. LeeAnne Locken, where are you at today in life? What's going on in your world?
Babysitting my dogs. Doing. Oh my gosh!
Tell me
So I
about the
started
travel
a travel
thing.
magazine during COVID called Eternal Traveler Magazine. And it's me and my two dear friends from Florida, and Brian and Sean, and we travel the world. We do cruises. We do, during COVID, we went to like Westcott, Greece, and Puerto Rico, and we go all over the world. I mean,
So you organize it.
we
and
literally just do
people,
it for the magazine.
like,
We don't
sign
take
up
any.
for-
We don't take any people with us. Like I know that new thing that's. No,
Oh,
we
okay.
just would go, and like people would have us come out, and we would, stay at these amazing homes, on these properties, and just it was fabulous. I have no qualms. I learned a lot during COVID, and no one was on the plane. No
How
one.
fun.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But
I
you're
think that's
busy.
just a special time. You are a
don't
very
like to
busy
sit
woman,
still.
Yeah.
LeeAnne. And listen, no, I need to say this to you. I think that you are Housewives history.
Aw,
You are a
thank
Housewives legend. And I hope one day we see you back again, whether it be for an ultimate girls trip, whether it be for traitors, or whatever it may be. I think that you should be on television. I think that you know exactly what you're doing. And also, if I could just get one triple XL Lafinity dress, that would be great.
Send you, an XS, and
Oh
then
my
just be
God.
like, try it on, fatty.
I'll squeeze into it.
No, he
I will
just
squeeze
lost
into
50
it.
pounds on Ozempic.
Love Ozempic.
Yeah, so better
oh my
watch
God.
out.
I lost like
Yeah.
35 pounds on it, and I was
I
like,
do.
yes, baby, I can fit in my pants again. I mean,
It's great. LeeAnne, thank you so much for joining us at Reality Court. It has been so nice to catch up
So
with
much
you.
fun.
Everyone, where can everyone find you?
Just
Is
LeeAnne
it just
Locken.
LeeAnne Locken?
at Instagram, X, whatever, Facebook.
Okay.
Really, I'm just on Instagram. But soon, you can find me and Anna on Traders.
On OnlyFans.
No, but my dogs are on OnlyFans.
okay.
Traders. Exactly.
We're gonna
no,
do traders
seriously.
together.
Seriously.
Okay.
Honestly,
We
we
would
would,
have fun,
be so
that's for
good.
sure.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, Leanne,
We
say
would have
this, and I'd be
fun.
like,
We would-
blah, 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 blah.
I think that
You
would
know
be
what?
a
Yeah.
great
Have
season.
Leanne Locken with me.
And I will. That's true. You need that. I think that you really do need that. So I
I
think
love
that
a
would
housewife
be.
that doesn't mince words, that
Yep.
doesn't talk out
Yes.
of both sides of her mouth. So it was really
Thank you.
so
Y'all
much
are a
fun
blast.
having
This
you
is a
on.
nice way to wake up.
It
I want
really
you to know
was.
I woke up just early, just for y'all on the first Monday after spring my ass forward, and I will now be springing my ass back into bed.
Well, listen,
But
you
I'm
don't
good
look
for
like
you.
you just sprung out of
Because
bed.
I-
You
No,
look
she
looks
great.
She always looks beautiful.
Thank you. We appreciate that. You look gorgeous.
You're awesome.
You are amazing, and we are so glad that you could join us today. Court is officially adjourned. I want to thank Anna. I want to thank LeAnne. I want to thank Pat. I want to thank Hurrdat. And as always, as we say at Reality Court, thank you, Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Go, yeah.
Please don't let us get killed.
We
Thank you, everybody.
guys.